Today I'm meeting Keri, who left a high-flying job in the city to become a yogini, and she has an interesting story to tell us. Hi Keri, how are you?
Hi, nice to
really
see you.
nice to be here.
Thanks for coming.
So tell me a little bit about your story and what motivated you to change your life so radically.
Wow, okay. So I've been working in corporate and consumer PR forever. Really, really love my job actually. I was actually working for Nando's, running their corporate PR, consumer PR. I travelled all over the world. It was really good, and I did a lot with music. So I ran their music strategy. I did a lot of stuff with emerging artists. Worked with the Roundhouse. Went to loads of festivals.
So that sounds really interesting. It sounds like a fantastic career.
Yeah, it was. It was an amazing.
So what was that turning point?
Well, I guess I'd been there a long time, and all things change. So it was sort of, things were changing, people were coming in, coming out, and I kind of felt like it was a really nice culture that if I didn't sort of make a step forward, do something different, I'd been there for the rest of my life. So there was that, and I just wanted to do something different, and I really got into yoga, and yoga was something that I never ever thought I would do.
Really? So you started when did you start yoga?
So I maybe started practicing maybe 6 years ago, and before then I exercise a lot, love exercise. I used to do HIIT and boxing, go to the gym all the time, and the nearest I got to yoga was Pilates. So that's what I
So were you one of those people that used to think that yoga isn't exercise, or wouldn't give you the body that you were looking for, and you'd only have to do a hard exercise to get there?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I've got a finite amount of time, and I want to get fit. I want to get into my trousers. So I'm being totally honest here. This is not how I think anymore. So why would I do yoga? Because in my mind, yoga was slow. It was boring. It was a little bit hippie-ish. It just wasn't for me at all. Also, I thought. And I was actually at a music festival. I was working at a music festival in Meyerhofen, and it's like a ski and music festival. Not much skiing happened. Only going out and partying.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was. So I got invited to go to this festival, and the person that sort of we met at the airport was helping his friend out with taking artists, and I managed to get myself on the artist bus somehow, and we just started talking. I sat in the front, and we just started talking about life, the universe. It got onto subjects of yoga, and he was saying how he loved yoga and how it helped him with I think it was an injury he had. And I was like, sounds great, but yoga's not for me, and sort of listed all the reasons why. And Andy, who basically he was the start of my yoga journey, he's a good friend now, and he was saying,
it's crazy. You find that one person in your life that just turns your life.
Flip, a 180. And he was like, where do you live? And I was like, I live in Notting Hill. And he was like, there's a yoga studio I think you should try. It's called Jivamukti, and it's a combination of obviously yoga, it's proper yoga, but it's quite dynamic, but also it's music. Music is a big part of the practice. So I'm sure you'll love it. Promise me that you'll try it. And it's right in Notting Hill, Kensal Green. So I was like, okay. I was like, promise me you'll try it. Anyway, I did, and it completely changed my view of yoga, and also I felt amazing. So I had this physical
and now
exercise.
I understand, because that was the first time when I did the class with you that there was that kind of music in a yoga environment, and I was just lying back and really appreciating it, really enjoying it. But now that makes sense. It kind of puts that piece of the puzzle.
That's where it came from, and loving music and working with music artists that and I've always felt that music is more than, having, enjoyment and sort of dancing. I mean, I felt like it did something to the soul. it brings people together, and music is really healing. So this combination of yoga, like a proper yoga practice, and music combined in this Jivamukti class was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then when I left the class, I was just like, wow, that's the first time in ages where I was only just focusing on what I was doing. And you know what it's like having a busy job, and maybe you've got everything that's going on. You'll never just focus on one thing. You're thinking about a million things. And it was such a relief and a release to just be focusing on my breath. The music was there. It was a dynamic practice. It did amazing things for my physical body, but the main thing was what it did for my mind.